Carolina Panthers finish up their preseason tonight at Bank of America Stadium, and then the roster gets finalized as Joey Ellis joins us now. Live from Bank of America Stadium. Joey, tonight they're focusing on who's going to make up the rest of the roster, but also we're kind of focusing on how is it looking outside and will this game happen?
Yeah, Brian, it's safe to say, I mean, this game will happen. Just a short time ago, just before we came back from the commercial break, that both teams were given the all clear to return back to the playing field. And before that, I mean, we saw some significant flooding really on both sides of the field. It was kind of looking like the conditions would be dicey. We saw Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, obviously good California buddies. They were sitting in the tunnel just watching, listening to booms of thunder that I thought at times were going to fracture this stadium here at Bank of America Stadium. But nonetheless, the show will go on. As of now, everything is slated to go for 7 o'clock here. I mentioned Bryce and CJ. Those are some of the starters. Those guys aren't going for either team. Dave Canales really made that clear as such. He and D'Amico Ryans both agreed upon that after Wednesday's joint practice, which was really a productive one, and a one in which, honestly, Carolina struggled, especially their starting ones offensively. 7 sacks they gave up at the hands of Danielle Hunter, as well as Will Anderson Jr. Those guys were really, really salty. That's a really, really good defense. So obviously not much to hang your hat on there if you're Carolina. So those guys won't be seeing the field tonight. But also, maybe the biggest thing is some of the competition that we're watching for, some of those position battles, guys on the bubble, looking at that second linebacker spot. Trevin Wallace, Claude and Sherlis, both of those guys, they'll be playing tonight for Carolina. As to how much, that remains to be seen. I guess that will be kind of contingent on the weather as well. But either which way, this team has to start better to finish the preseason heading into a September in which they've normally struggled under Dave Canales. 2-8 in the first 2 Septembers in his tenure here. They're hoping to build a little bit more competitive depth behind the ones as they try to get a good work of preseason prep in tonight here against the Texans.
We will not play the starters. D'Amico and I talked about that last night, decided the amount of work we were going to get them. This practice really got the starters a ton of reps. They took about 75% of the snaps, with the 2s and 3s kind of getting a little bit of work just to make sure their body's moving and they're in the rhythm of it. But those guys will finish it out for us, and a great opportunity for them to compete and show us what they got.
So that's the goal that tonight. It's 7 o'clock. As of, what is it, 6:11 right now? Fans, as it sits right now, slotted to come into Bank of America Stadium with the gates set to open 6:15. 6:20 was the last we just heard from a stadium official here just walking by. So that's the plan as of now. We're going to do the rain dance, Brian, the rest of the way that all that nasty stuff kind of stays away. But as it's sitting now, it looks like the conditions will be playable to at least get most of this game in, if not all of it. Obviously, the Panthers could surely use a little bit of a tune-up there before week 1 with the Chicago Bears coming here in 2 weeks from now. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, and it's going to be fun out there tonight, especially with all the fans just rushing in there and at 45 minutes to get in there to their seats for game time. I've seen that movie before. All right, enjoy the game tonight and have a good one. All right, we'll see you in a little bit, Joey.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.